Hello guys, welcome. I'm Christopher and this is my channel Cambro, where I'll be talking about the Path to Carcosa. So in the last video I talked about the 6 new investigator that'll be coming to Path to Carcosa. And in this video I'll be talking about the investigator cards. So if you don't want to see or be spoiled about the investigator cards, stop the video and watch it later when you have seen the cards yourself. So this is Path to Carcosa, the second deluxe box to Arkham Horror, which hopefully will come out the next week, maybe at the end of August, beginning of September. So hopefully we'll get it very soon. So let's just dive right into it, shall we? So some of the cards won't have an image. I haven't found the image for them. I've looked online, but I couldn't find them. So we'll just have to go on the text. But that works as well. So this is the 32mm Colt. It's a Guardian card. Asset, takes 1 hand slot. It's an item, weapon, firearm. We've seen tons of them. Cost 3, and they have a icon of a combat. And it has 6 ammo and an active ability, which is spend 1 ammo, fight. You deal 1 damage for this attack. So this is very similar to a card from the core set, which is the 45mm automatic. So as you can see, this also comes in with ammo and does extra damage. However, the automatic gives you more combat, where the Colt doesn't give you combat, but it comes out with 2 more ammo. It also costs 1 less compared to the 45mm. So how good will the Colt be? I think it'll actually be quite good, especially with Mark, the new Guardian, which has 1 more combat compared to Zoe and Roland. So if he's using the Colt, he'll be in the same stats as Roland is when he's using the 45mm. And those extra 2 bullets, I think, will count. That's like a half 1.4, 1.5 of the automatic. So like 2 Colts will have the same amount of 3 45mm. So you're actually saving. And it also has a combat icon compared to the agility combat on the 45. And I always found this agility a bit clunky in the because there's so few times you're willing to pitch this to a test, but having a combat, I think it'll actually come much more in handy. And then it costs 1 less, which is a huge deal in Guardian. At least Roland is always struggling for money. I'm not sure how Mark will do in the money department. He'll need to heal himself, so he'll probably be packing a lot of healing cards, which probably will drain a lot of resources. So paying 1 less for a weapon with 2 more ammos, I think it's a good trade. You don't get that extra fight, but I think this is still preferable, at least in Mark. But we'll have to see. Oop. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's the 32. There aren't not a lot others to compare it to. You can compare it to the 41mm. But as you all know, for this one to succeed doing more damage, you have to succeed by 2 or more. So it's not really a good comparison, but it's another weapon. I like that. Let's go to next card. This is True Grit. We actually have a card of this. At first I thought this was an ally just by looking at the picture, but it's not. It's an asset. It comes out in with 3 health and you can't put sanity on it. It doesn't take any slot, and True Grit may be assigned damage dealt to other investigator at your location. It costs 3 and comes with a will icon. So this really built into the thing about Guardian being the support tank class. We have a card very similar to this one in the Miskatonic University. So this is Brother Savior. He came in the Miskatonic Museum. He's an ally which costs 5, 1 experience, and has 3 HP and 3 sanity. And he has the same ability that you can assign him damage dealt to other investigators. Of course, you can play sanity on this one, and it costs 2 less and it doesn't take an experience. So, how good will this be? My games have usually been only for 2 players, so this ability that assigning damage to Savior instead of the others hadn't come through a lot. But in 3 and 4 player, I think it'll be actually really good. And we can also look at another card from the core set. Let's see. Where is it? Bulletproof vest. This is bulletproof vest. It comes in with 4 HP, take a body slot, and costs 3 experience. It's 1 cheaper though than Through Grit. But, I mean, Through Grit, taking up 3 damage for 3 resources, I think it's a good trade. And the fact that you can protect like the Seekers, which usually are a bit more fragile, will actually be quite good. I think Through Grit is a good inclusion, depending on who your partner is. If you have like a Seeker or maybe a Rogue, no, not Rogue, Mystic, Through Grit might be a good inclusion. It's not a super, I don't know, sexy card. It doesn't do anything. It's just soaks up 3 damage for 3 resources. Might be okay. It's just a flesh one. Okay, so this is Let Me Handle This. It's a event, cost 0, with a will and fight icon. It has the fast keyword. Play after another investigator, draw a non-peril encounter card, but before resolving that card's effect. You are considered to have drawn that encounter card instead. You get +2 to each of your skill while resolving this card's revelation effect. So this is, back to quoting one of the core set, this is very similar to Ward of Protection in the Guardian way. So Ward of Protection reads fast. Play when you draw a non-weakness treachery card. Cancel that revelation effect and then take 1 horror. This is the Guardian's way of dealing with that. They, instead of, so you play this after another one, obviously, so you're taking their card on you. So you're considered to have drawn that card. Why is this good? Well, to start with, you get +2 in each of your skill values, which basically, like, let's see, not counting the ones, because all the Dunwich people can take this, but if we look at the mark, will be at like 5, 4, 7, and 5. Zoe will be in, what will be she be? She'll be 6, 4, 6, 4. I mean, so the stats get really good with this. So you can definitely save someone that's probably low ones. For example, if Zoe has this, taking, what's that card? The one that gives you horror. Rotting Remains. Yeah, Rotting Remains. Taking this off Skid, for example, will be super good. You'll be at 6. Can probably easily dodge all 3 of the horrors. And really saving Skid. And the thing is, you don't even have to be at the same location as the investigator you're helping. You can be on the other side of the map. This card doesn't check location. So that's one of the things. You can take like a nasty revelation effect. But you can also take enemies. So let's say Rex draws a Night Gold or something nasty. You can handle that then by playing Let Me Handle This. So then you're considered to have drawn that enemy. You don't get +2 to your skill values because there are no revelation effect on enemies, but just it still gets engaged with you. So this in Zoe will be like a pre-taunt. You're taunting them even before they're out, which I think will be actually really good. Yeah, it's a very interesting card. It really helps with the like backing up the garden is the helping class. We have a really cool picture here also of some woman. I don't know the lore of Arkham Horror, so I don't know if she's here helping someone that looks like Marilyn Rose. Sorry. Yeah, but I definitely are intrigued about this card. How it'll handle. Because it's so Guardian though. Like, they don't cancel the effect. They cancel it by handling it. Yeah. This is ever Vigilant? I don't even know what this word is. Vigilant. Ever Vigilant. I know what Vigilant is, but I'm not entirely sure what ever Vigilant meant. Anyhow, it's in a Guardian event, a tactic. So Mark can take it, but he could already take it. So yeah. It's a 0 resource, 1 experience. So the 3 previous ones didn't cost XP. This one cost. It has 2 intellect icons, and it reads once at a time. One at a time. Got some story in there. Once a time, play up to 3 assets from your hand, reducing the cost of each of them by 1. So you play this, and use like 3 other cards from your hand, and play them one at a time, and reducing the cost by 1. It's a hard card. You will have to have 4 cards in your hand for able to play this, and 3 of them being assets, and this one. And how much do you save? Well, top you'll save 3 resources, which is an emergency cash. You'll also save 2 actions, not playing all 3 assets, because well you would be playing 1 asset instead of this card, but then you'll also have to play the 2 remaining assets. So the question is, I don't know how often you'll actually manage to play all 3 assets. Let's say you draw this in your starting hand. Best case scenario, you draw this, you draw something like Beat Cop, and probably Machete. Is that how we spell it? No, it's not. Let's see. There, Machete. And what else does Guardian like to pack? Let's say physical training, for example. Now, I know a lot of people don't run physical training, but it's just an example. So if you play this, you would be able to play the Machete for 2, the Beat Cup for 3, and well, then you have to play an asset for 1 though, if you want to be able to get them all on the table at once. But if you manage to do that, that's great. You will have saved 3 resources and 2 actions. The thing is, it'll be hard to play this from your starting hand, and when you have played a while, you're pretty much set up. I'm finding it hard to have like a scenario when you'll have 3 assets and this in your hand. Yeah, maybe. I mean, even if you play 2 assets though, I think it's maybe worth it. I mean, it's probably worth it. The thing is, it costs 1 XP, and I think there might be better things to put that XP to. Stuff like extra ammunition if you have lightning gun. Brother Savior is 1 XP. Yeah, I mean it's a really cool card. It's very hard to determine how good it is though, just by reading it. Yeah, so we'll move on. So this is the last Guardian card, so we'll move into the Seeker card. So this is Field Work. We don't have a picture of this one either, too bad. It's an asset talent. Cost 2 with a agility icon. So reaction, after you move to a location, if that location has at least 1 clue on it, exhaust Fieldwork. You get 2+ skill value for the next skill test you perform this phase. So you put this down, you move it into a location with a clue, and you get +2 skill value. Let's say you're investigating. This is like, well, it doesn't have to be investigating, but you're basically chucking unexpected courage every time you walk into a location with a clue. And that seems really good though. I think this card gets, oh no, there we go. I think this card gets a lot better with, which is it? I can't remember the name of it. I haven't played it so much. Pathfinder. Yeah, where you can move for free. That way you could probably move into, I mean, Pathfinder is an awesome card. So it lets you move for free once a turn. If you manage to move into like a place with a clue, maybe if you have a place with 1 clue left and you don't have to pick it up, you could probably fast move in there and do a skill test. I'm not entirely what would you... No. You would have to waste an action going back to what you were doing. No, it's a hard one. I think it's actually really good though. I think it'll give you a lot of momentum. I mean, just moving in, investigating, you'll have an unexpected courage for the first one. It'll be hard to utilize this for combat, because, I mean, Roland can take it, and so we can take it. The thing is, you have to move though, and if you move with an enemy engaged with you, it'll hit you. It'll be different though if the enemy is already at the location with the clue. That'll Roland really like. So yeah, I think this will go really well in Roland, since he's all about that positioning where the clues are. This is Arctic Gyps, untranslated. So it has a intellect icon. It's an item, occult, and tomb. So our new mystic investigator, what was her name? Yeah, Akachi. She can take this, because she could take occult card level 0. And this is our first occult card. So it has action. Discard a card with at least 1 intellect icon from your hand. Place 1 resource on Arctic Gyptis from the token pool as a secret. Forced. After 3 secrets is placed on Arctic Gyptis, discard it and gain 5 resources. Record in your campaign log that you have translated the clips. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. So you all have seen this card before. It came in the Dunwich Legacy. There's a strange illusion from the Dunwich Legacy. You test for intellect. If you succeed, you're recording your log that you have identified the solution. So for a long time we didn't know what this card would turn into. But in the, was it the 4th? The Dooms Await? Yeah, no, that's the 5th Mythos pack. We got the unidentified solutions. The one that, there's one that heals you, one that do shit tons of damage, and one that lets you evade. And these ones are really strong, especially this one that lets you fight. And the thing is, you can only purchase them if you have identified the solution. So this one is really similar in that effect, that you will be recording something in your log. And for a long time we weren't sure if we were gonna get an investigator card or if it had something to do with the story. But now we probably can assume that this has something to do with the story. No, that it has something to do with the investigator cards. So you will have to. This will take 4 actions in one scenario to complete. Because you have to discard. Have to do it 3 times, and you have to play the card. You will get 5 resources out of it, which isn't too bad actually. I think it's much better. No, maybe not. You got 2 cards from the Strange Illusion. I mean, it's both good. But what we will get, I'm guessing, I mean, if you're... what we will get, what I assume, is probably a level 4 book with charges on, so that Akachi can take it. Because she could take... Let's see, no. She could take level 4 cards with charges. So it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to assume that this will be a card which have charges on it. So because she can take the level 0 one, she probably could take the level 4 ones. However, it's good note since this take a hand slot compared to the Strange Illusion. Not much point in dwelling what they will be, but I'm thinking they'll probably be different from the Strange Illusions. I'm thinking something maybe like 1. If we get 3 different versions, I would think I'm just spawning, but maybe something like 1 that gives you resources, 1 that lets you move in a very quick way, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe shuffle the encounter card in some way. You let you rearrange the encounter deck in some way, like the top 4 or something maybe. Because I don't think they'll do the same thing like fighting, healing, and evading with this one. But, well, we just have to wait and see. No stone unturned. So this is an event. Has a wild icon. Costs... Huh. Yeah, I guess it costs 2. It says 0 here. But I'm thinking the card is right. That's the thing. If they don't have a picture like this one, we have to go on that 2 is right. So some of my thoughts and ideas might be a little wrong because the cost is a bit different. One would really be if this one costs money, then it would actually be much, much worse. Anyhow, now stone unturned. You choose an investigator at your location. That investigator searches the top 6 of his or her deck for a card, draws and shuffle his or her deck. So going back to quoting the core set, we actually had a card similar to this one. This is Old Book of Lore. It lets you, for an action, choose an investigator at your location. That investigator searches the top 3 of his or her deck and draw that. And it takes 1 action and a hand slot. Daisy really liked this card because she can use this action for free. This is very similar to the Old Book of Lore. However, it's a one-time use only. And but you get to see 6 cards. 6 cards is quite a lot in this game. Because you start, most of the investigator will start with 27 cards in their deck after drawing their hand. And drawing 6 out of those 27 cards, that's more than 1/5 of your deck you're drawing there. So you probably get to find what you're looking for. I mean, this is super good if you're having like a, for example, a Dark Horse build. Like, because a lot of Dark Horse builds really wants to get Dark Horse as quick out as possible. I don't think it's good to find weapons, because we have a better card for that, which is prepare. I can't spell. For the worst. Which lets you search the top 9 for a weapon. So if you're gonna use this for a weapon, use prepare for the worst instead. But like looking for like a specific card which your deck really needs, getting Milan out quick, perhaps. Getting, I don't know which cards does the Seeker really want out. I mean, yeah, probably Milan, or like finding what is it called, Leo De Luca. I mean, we also have Flare if you're really looking for your allies, which let you search top 9, but this costs 1 experience each time you use it, so I think it's a good card, especially since you don't have to use it on yourself. You can help other people look for what they really need. In the known. So if you have noticed, we got 3 Guardian cards, level 0 and 1 level 1. Now we got 3 level 0 and 1 level 1. So it's a theme for this. It was the same in Downwich. We got 4 and 1 of them cost experience. In the known, cost 3, 1 experience pip. Has an intellect icon with 3 secrets. Action, spend 1 secret. Investigate. Investigate any revealed location in play as if you were at that location. We have already had this card, haven't we? This is seeking answer. It's an event. Investigate. If success, instead of discovering a clue at your location, discover a clue at a connecting location. Okay, yeah, no, I thought that was wrong. This is actually you investigate your own location and find clues at the other place. This is as you were actually there. Why is this good? For example, maybe if there are enemies in that location and you don't want to get in, then maybe that could be good. However, a bit spoiler for the extracurricular activities, stuff like the Oran Library, which costs you an additional action to investigate. This will cost you an extra action to investigate because it says that investigate a location as if you were at that location, and if you're at that location it costs you 1 additional action. So that's how I would assume that's how it triggers, so you actually have to pay that extra action. And there are other locations which has that cost. How good is this? I'm finding it very hard to justify. I'm not entirely sure where you would use this efficient and not just a walk over there. If it's the enemies there, but it's a bit hard for the enemies to spawn there and no one being there, being able to take care of them. Yeah, sure, you can evade them, move out, and then investigate using in the known to get the clues. It's a bit clunky, I think. If you're using this with Rex and succeed by 2 or more, yeah, I assume you would still get the clue at your own location and not the one. Investigate and reveal location in play as if you were at that location. Yeah, as if you, but you're not. So you're still getting the clue at where you are. Yeah, Rex is so good though. Yeah, so let's move on to the rogue cards. This is rogue. Yeah, this is stealth, asset, talent, cost 2 with an agility icon. So action, exhaust stealth, evade. You choose an enemy. The chosen enemy gets -2 evade for this evasion attempt. If successful, evade the enemy, disengage with it, but do not exhaust it. Until the end of the turn, that enemy cannot engage you. So this is a bit weird, I think. You evade an enemy easier, but it doesn't get exhaust. However, it can't jump on you anymore. It can, however, jump on someone else if it's there, So let's say you and a friend are at a location, you invade it using stealth, then the enemy will just jump on your friend. This is actually good if you're playing like with our guardian who has the machete, because you have to be engaged with the enemy for the machete to do extra damage. So yeah, actually this is very good if you're playing with a guardian, because that way the guardian won't have to... I mean, I'm not even sure, can you engage an exhaust enemy? I don't think you can. So this way the guardian will be able to use his or her machete, which is really good. Out of that, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess when they likes it, she'll be super quick. -2, that's basically unexpected courage. But yeah. Maybe I have to try this as well. I'm thinking this might suffer from like you want to include it in your deck, but you might want to take another better cards instead of it. Though Rogue has quite a weak card pool at the moment, so it wouldn't be crazy to include this in your deck. So. Oh boy, this is sleight of hand. It's a trick. It's a fast. Play only during your turn. Put an item asset into play from your hand. At the end of your turn, if that asset is in play, return it to your hand. This card is so good, I think. This basically gives every item a fast keyword. And you get to play them for basically free. You pay 1. So this is Lightning Gun, which came in Lost in Time and Space. It's a 6 resource, 5 experience, coming with 3 ammo, and you get +5 and 2 damage. You have all seen it. It's super strong. The thing with this Lightning Gun is it only has 3 ammo. You can use it 3 times after that. You better put some extra ammunition on it. And it takes both your hands, so you'll be dropping that machete and flashlight. However, with sleight of hand, you can put this bad boy on the board, on the table for 1 resources. Unload it using all your 3 actions to shoot 3 times. And an important thing about this game, when a card doesn't have any ammo or resources, it doesn't get discarded unless specifically says so. For example, Forbidden Knowledge. Forbidden Knowledge. It says if you have no secrets, discard it. But the Lightning Gun doesn't discard when it's out of ammo. So you, let's say a boss enemy spawns on you. You play this, put this on the board for 1 resource, shoot 3 times, and at the end of your turn, you put it back up in your hand. And then next time, you could play this out, paying for it and getting those 3 ammo back. I mean, right now, the only one that can do this crazy combo is Zoe. Because she could take out of class card level 0, and this is level 0 out of class. No, how I can't. Another good use for this card is the Chicago typewriter. It'll be basically the same, but here any rogue can use it. You put it down, you shoot 3 times, and it bounces back up. It's not as strong as the Lightning Gun, but it's still a strong card. And I mean, even if you don't, I mean, in the beginning, just getting like a 45mm down for free, shoot 3 times. So I think this card is super good with cards that have ammo or secrets or resources on them, which you want to spend, but when it bounces back, you get to replay them. So let's see, can you... see. You could put the Yanis twin guns down. However, it'll come in with 0 ammo, so not really anything good. Getting the shotgun down, shooting twice. Yeah, I think this will be a good card. Because all guns are items, as you see. What other stuff though can you put in? See. I think it's basically probably best with stuff that has ammo. I mean, if you're going to do some crazy bloods of theft, you could do it with grotesque statue. That's an item, right? Yeah, grotesque statue. Use this 3 times. Jim is the only one that can do this right now, though. Probably not super useful. I think it's probably best just with guns. Stuff like the police badge, which lets you... No, it wouldn't work with the police badge, that's the thing. And I mean the acid, you could, to get 3 more charges. Probably not the best use of it. However, I think this would be a really good card for Zoe. But it will be interesting to see what it can do. Daring maneuver. Fast. Play when you would succeed a skill test. You get +2 for that skill value. So you play this after you have succeeded a test by 2. No, when you have succeeded the test, and then you get +2. That means that all cards that trigger upon succeeding by 2 or more will trigger. Let's see which cards are that. I should probably have by 2 or more. Maybe that'll, yeah. So there are a couple of cards. This one will do 1 more extra damage. The quick thinking will let you take another turn. Scavenger will find you an item. Switchblade will do more damage. So, yeah, shouldn't opportunities be here as well? Yeah, I think it should. Yeah. So opportunities, it will bounce back to your hand. I definitely don't think though we have the cards yet to justify including this. But I think they're slowly growing an archetype there, like having an entire deck based on that you have to succeed by 2 or more. So when that time comes, this card will probably be good. Right now, I don't think you want to include it. This is Lockpick. My voice is getting a bit sore. It's an asset. It takes 1 hand. It's item, tool, illicit. So we still don't know what illicit does. I'll probably come thinking maybe an investigator working around with illicit. That'll be cool. So this is a cost 3 asset, 1 experience, comes with a intellect icon, 3 supplies. If it has no supplies, discard it. So action. You exhaust lockpicks, you can only use it once a turn. Investigate. Add your agility value to your skill value for this investigation. If you just not succeed by at least 2, remove 1 supply from lockpick. Oof, I think this is the first card that lets you combine 2 of your values. So this is Wendy, the survivor from the core set. If she can take row card, if she use lockpicks, she'll have a whopping 7 in intellect. Let's say that she also has what is his name? The campus. I can't spell. What is his name? Peter Sylvester, right? Let's say she has Peter Sylvester as well, and she'll have 8 in intellect. That's a lot. That is so much. I mean, flashlight, it doesn't give you 2, it reduces the shroud value, but it's basically giving you 2 unless you're at the 2 shroud location. This with Wendy, this will give you 4. That's crazy. Maybe even 5. Which else? So I mean, you have to succeed by 2, otherwise 1 of your 3 lockpicks will break. But I mean, I think you will actually don't. I think you'll manage to succeed by 2, but quite easy in Wendy at a lot of locations. Shroud 4 location will be hard, but 3 and 2, I don't think it'll be a problem. And especially if you have stuff like Peter Sylvester that increases. This is actually a good card for Safina, I think, as well, because her intellect of 2 is not that great. Intellect of 6, however, much better. Jenny, however, she can take it, but she also has access to Streetwise instead, which can boost your intellect as well, so I think that's probably better. Wendy doesn't have access to Streetwise. She could take Scrapper, however, which can boost your agility, which is basically with Lockpick boosting your intellect, which, oh, that's so good. Yeah, so I think Lockpick will probably shine most in Wendy. This is Alchemy Transmution. So, Alchemist, putting broken stuff back together. If you have watched Full Metal Alchemist, you know what I'm talking about. So this uses 3 charges. You get cost 1 is an asset. You spend 1 action. You exhaust it, you can use it once per turn, and spend 1 charge. You test 1 will. For each point you succeed by, gain 1 resource to a max of 3. And if one of the bad tokens are revealed, you take 1 damage. And it takes the arcane slot. So you get to do it 3 times, and at best you're getting out 8 resources. 8 resources for 4 turns, right? Yeah, it's not a great payoff. None of the, neither Jim or Agnes really wants this, even though they probably could pass by 3 quite easy. But taking an extra damage just for some resources, I don't think it's worth it. So we could take it. She has quite high will, but the same thing there. Even if she succeeds, you're not getting out a lot of money out of this. And at average, you probably will just average 2. So that way you will average maybe 6 resources out of this for 4 actions. That's not worth including in your deck, I would say. However, Akachi probably likes this card a bit more. It'll come out in with 4 charges with her, and if you have her specialty Spirit Speaker, you could take all of those charges as resource immediately. So that way it'll be a 1, you play it for 1, and then you can take 4 resources. So you're netting 3. So in Akechi, if you have her Spirit Speaker in, this is basically an emergency cash. Which is okay, I guess. You could use it also to fuel her personal weakness, which you have to give charges to. Because it's a spell, right? Yeah. This is Uncage the Soul. And oh boy, this is good. It's an event with 2 willpower. Play a spell or a ritual card from your hand, reducing the cost by 3. It costs 0. If you are playing Netrunner, there are a similar called Career Fair, which basically do the exact same thing, or modded. So let's look. What kind of spells are there? Spells. Yeah. This doesn't have fast, so you can't really do it with cards that have the fast because it won't really do anything. Probably where you probably only will use it is Rite of Seeking. You'll get it played for 1 or 2 depending on. Or Shivering. You'll pay Shivering for 3 using this card. Song of the Dead. But I mean, getting Shivering for 3 is such a good memento. Unless the spell cards just keep growing, this card will actually be even better. Ritual. Do we even have any ritual cards yet? Okay, yeah, her own signature card is the only ritual. So we actually get 2 resource cards from for the Mystics. But Uncaged Soul I can definitely think of including in like a Agnes build. Which may be running Dark Horse, because then you... The thing is with Dark Horse in Agnes is it's kind of clunky getting up to 4 playing that Shivering. But with Uncage the Soul you only have to get up to 1 to play it. So that's super good. Astral Travel. It's an event, costs 3 with a willpower and agility icon. And it reads, move. Move to any revealed location and reveal a random token from the chaos bag. If the revealed chaos is a bad one, you must discard an item or an ally, or take 1 damage if you cannot. So, this is basically teleportation. You move from one location to another location. There are definitely scenarios where this card shines more. Stuff in like the Midnight Mask, the second from the core set, or the museum, Miskatonic Museum. Stuff in like, however, the train, it won't do anything though, because you can't just skip to the front of the train using this card. But however, it is expensive. You could use Uncaged Soul on it to pay 0. But paying 3 to teleport somewhere, I'm not entirely sure how good it is. In the House Always Win though, if you're playing it second and have to go and get Peter, is that his name? I think that's his name. Then it might be good. You get to teleport back into the bar and teleport out if you have another one. Might be good. I'm not, however, so sold on it. I don't think I'll probably include it in my decks, unless... I haven't played Path to Carcosa, so I'm not sure how the allocation will be. Maybe it'll be super good in there. Well, it's probably actually very good in Lost in Time and Space, because it's so hard to walk around in there. And all of those locations are revealed. Well, not all, but almost all of them are revealed when they come in. So it lets you travel between those locations with quite ease. This is Spirit Atman. Atami? I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Can we Google that? Okay. So it's okay. It's some kind of dagger probably on the picture, some sacrificial dagger or something. I'm not sure. So it's an item, relic, weapon, melee. Cost 3 and 1 XP. Has a combat icon and it has a fast. During a skill test on a spell card, so Rite of Seeking or Shivering probably, or Song of the Dead. exhaust Spirit Atom, you get +2 for the skill value. Or you could action exhaust it and fight, you get +2 combat. So this fast ability is so good. You can only use it once a turn, but it's basically a free unexpected courage every time you use it. And that seems really strong. Granted, you can't use it multiple times a turn, but it doesn't have any charges or stuff. So this fast icon, if you manage to get it out early, you will be exhausting this with the fast all the time. It has a fight. You can fight with this dagger as well. You get +2. It is a level 1 mystic, so not a lot of people can take it. However, Akachi might want to take it. Might want to use the fighting sometimes if she's out of charges. Because she'll be up at 5 combat, which is really good. That's stronger than Roland. You won't do any extra damage, but maybe you could kill off smaller enemies, or if you have used like a Shivering, do 2 damage and have to finish it off and not want to use an extra charge of Shivering, you could attack it with the knife. Seems really good. I definitely think this will be a card where you put in Akachi. So let's move to the Survivor cards. So I'm pretty sure we actually have a picture of this card though. Let's see. Oops. Yeah. So this is Lantern. Let's see, can I zoom in maybe? It costs 2, has a intellect icon. Action, investigate. Your location get -1 for this investigating. Your location get -1 shroud. So this is very similar to Flashlight, which says you investigate, you get -2 shroud. Flashlight only has 3 supplies, you can use it 3 times. The good thing about Flashlight is if you manage to get to the shroud to 0, you're basically guaranteed to succeed. Lantern, you only lower it by 1, which makes level 1 shroud location basically a guarantee. But otherwise, then it's basically like a magnifying glass where you have to... Yeah, it's basically a magnifying glass where you have to use an action to use it. And that's kind of bad. Then I think you're probably just better off running something like newspaper, stuff like that. It has another ability though. Discard Lantern. Deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location. This attack does not provoke attack of opportunity. So it's a guarantee 1 hit damage. Like it's not like the Beat Cop where it's a fast, or Agnes Forbidden Knowledge, but it's guaranteed a damage, so you don't have to test anything. And that is good because of our new survivor William, which says that when you defeat an enemy, you get to play an asset from your discard pile. That way you can replay the Lantern and keep shocking at that enemy. In Wendy though, I don't think you'll use it, and in Ash, you don't want to use it either because you don't want to investigate or fight with stuff. You just want Duke to handle everything. But William probably liked the Lantern quite a lot. I mean, it's probably one of his signature cards. Not the signature card, but staple of them. Grave Digger Shovel. So this is another card, which William probably likes. So I think we have another picture of, yeah. So it's an item tool, weapon melee. Takes 1 hand, costs 2. Fight. You get +2 combat. Okay. William will be at 6 with this, right? Yeah. And you can discard it to discover 1 clue at your location. That's good. This is basically so bad with the names. Working a hunch, yeah. Because they both cost 2, and they're guaranteed to find a clue. However, this takes 2 actions to trigger. You can use it as a weapon for the meantime, but William probably wants to have like a more reliable weapon, like a machete or something that fire axe that does more damage. But you can you can use it to. You can recur this if you have like a blade with like a 5 shroud or something like that. I don't even know if that exists yet. No, I can't think of any place. But I mean, if you're playing solo, this might work as well. Yeah, probably a good card. Probably a decent card. Hiding Spot. It's an event, trick, tactics, so Mark can take it. Has 2 agility icons. Fast. Attach Hiding Spot to any location. Each non-elite enemy at that location gains aloof. Forced at the end of the enemy phase. If the ready enemy is at that location, discard Hiding Spot. And the quote is 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So you pay 1, you put this card on a location, and each enemy there gains aloof. If an investigator already are there and have an enemy on him, an aloof enemy doesn't disengage from an investigator. So you can't use this to like evade enemies or disengage from enemies. But you can use it to run past them. It'll be so cool though if the Springfield, where is it? Here, right? Yeah. If the Springfield could be used against aloof enemies, because then you could use this as a cool combo, but the Springfield can't. It's a piece of garbage. Don't use it. Yeah. If an enemy is ready, like if they're just standing an enemy there, then the Hiding Spot will be discarded. So I'm thinking you're using Hiding Spot to run past a location. For example, in the 3rd scenario in the core set, if a couple of cultists spawns in the main path and you have to get past them, then you can use this. This is a bit similar to Skids on the Lamb, where it says until the end of the round, non-elite enemy can attack you. So they'll still be engaged. I thought they couldn't engage with him, so yeah. Yeah. I'm having a hard time placing where I want this card. Yeah, I think there are better cards. Probably, no. Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting where I want to put this card. Resourceful. So it's a skill. I think it's the first skill, right? Yeah, it's the only skill in this box, so that's interesting. And well, it's not a level 1 though, so survivors always on the lower end of the XP. So it has a will, no, intelligent, combat, and agility. So if this test is successful, choose a guardian card not named resourceful in your discard pile. Add the chosen card to your hand. Oof. So this is very good recursion. Like, you get to choose whichever survivor card you want and recur that card. It can be an asset, event, or even another skill card. So stuff like if one of your allies has died, you can put that back up. If you pick up your leather coat, probably not bad. What I think will really be good with this card is like Will to Survive. Getting Will to Survive back up in your hand, which doesn't have to draw Chaos token. So good card. And if you have resourceful, you can be a bit more aggressive when you want to will to survive. Getting up your lucky back in hand might not actually be too bad of an idea. Getting stroke up luck when you pitch it to a test you managed to succeed, even though you weren't sure if you were going to succeed it. You were thinking maybe of exiling it. Now you can get it back and use it to another hard test. But yeah, I think probably Will to Survive will be the top candidate with Lucky. Flare will never be in your discard pile unless it gets milled though. Yeah, it's a good card. If you want, you can take back Chance Encounter to play replay the Red Gloved Man 5th time, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a good card, and William really helps his recursion. I mean, he had a good recursion already, but like getting Wendy and Ash to recur stuff as well, I think it's a really good card. Probably not that good out of faction. Like all the Dunwich people can take it, but you can only recur a Guardian card, a Survivor card. So they probably don't pack a lot of Survivor cards. So yeah, that's the, let's see, 20? Yeah, 20 Investigator cards. And we are up to 1 hour almost exactly. We'll do the 3 basic weaknesses that are also coming in this pack. So if you don't want to see them though, yeah, stop the video. But yeah, so we have 3 new basic weaknesses. So this is Overzealous. You have to excuse me if I'm butchering the name. It's a treachery basic weakness and it's flaw. Revelation. Draw the top of the encounter deck. That card gains Surge. Oof, this is a nasty one. So this is basically, you draw the top of the encounter deck and then you draw another card, because that's what Surge means. So you're drawing 2 encounter cards. Because this is what Surge means, right? I'm not tripping. I have to check. Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of Peril. I was confusing it there for a second. Yeah, I think this is nasty. I mean, compare it to stuff like, I think like in depth it's probably one of the more nice one. It's terrible in Guardian, but getting 2 encounter cards, that is really nasty, especially if you're playing solo. If you manage to draw like 2 enemies, because if you draw this in the upkeep phase, you draw 2 encounter cards, then the method phase, and you draw another one. That'll be 3 encounter cards. That can be enough to kill one if you're not prepared for it. So yeah, this one looks really nasty. Yeah, I hope I don't get this one many times in my decks. Drawing the sign. So it's a Pact Madness. So is this the first Pact? I think it is, right? Yeah, I think it's the first Pact. Pact weakness. Might be wrong about that. So it's a Revelation. Put drawing the sign into your threat area. Your maximum hand size is reduced by 5 while checking your hand size during the upkeep. And then double action, you discard it. So, as you probably know, you have 8 as hand limit in Arkham Horror. If you draw this and don't have any stuff like Art Student or stuff like increase your hand size, you'll have a hand size of 3. And the thing is, you probably never should draw on your last action. in case you draw enemy weakness or stuff like that, because then they get to attack you. So let's say you don't draw this in your investigator phase, you draw it in the upkeep phase. Your maximum hand size gets down to 3. And after you have drawn the card, it checks hand size. So then you probably will have to discard down to 3. We have another card. Is it Amnesia? Okay, I can't spell. Pretty sure it's Amnesia, right? Let's see. Yeah. So this is from the core set, Amnesia. You choose and discard all but one of your cards. You won't have to discard all your cards. With this, you'll always have at least 3 cards in your hand. No, at top. Yeah, you can have up to 3 cards with this. The thing is, you have to use a double action to get rid of this. I mean, you could rock out with this if you're playing stuff like who's playing all their cards. Ash probably does it because he's pitching stuff to Duke all the time. But if you're... Oh, this is terrible if you're Rex with the higher education, because that card requires you to have at least 5 cards to use it. So then you will have to use 2 actions. So I think this is probably worse than Amnesia. I mean, Amnesia is so annoying when you draw it. Yeah, the fact is you probably will have to discard cards due to this, and you'll have to waste action. So it's actually quite a nasty one, I think. And last in the pack, the things that follows. Monster Curse. So it's quite a strong one. 3, 2, 3. So I don't think we have any. Let's see. Can I search subtype base? Let's just search. Yeah, right now we have only 3 other enemies. So he has 3 fight, 2 HP, and 3 evade. Deal 1 damage and 1 horror. Spawn. Location farthest away from you. So he spawn as far away as possible. Prey, bearer only, and hunter. So as I said with the ghouls with William, this will have aloof to all the other investigators except you. But there's a catch. When he would be defeated, instead shuffle it into the bear's deck. So that it keeps coming back. You keep killing it, but it'll come back. It's probably in the lowest HP. Yeah, no. It's the same stat as the stubborn detective. No, it's a little bit faster than the stubborn detective. But it actually hits for... Yeah, all the other ones only hits for damage. This one hits for damage and horror, which probably makes it much worse than this one. No, the Acolyte is probably still the worst. And he's horrible, putting Doom on the agenda. Thinking. If you have this in maybe Sephida, which her personal weakness also shuffle into the deck, you'll be shuffling all day, but yeah, I think that's a good time to end this. A lot of interesting cards. There's a lot. I think the Colt will be really interesting. Let Me Handle It will be super fun to use. See how that works. Lockpick will be so good in Windy. Yeah, there's a lot of fun cards. I can't wait to the Path to Carcosa come out. If you're enjoying this, please let me know in the comment section or by leaving a like or something. And I'll probably keep doing this for the Mythos packs as well. I won't, however, never talk about the encounter cards because, well, they're not really that fun to discuss. Maybe a lot later, like you could maybe talk about the core encounter card now, but I think it's probably more fun just to let people experience them by themselves. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like or comment. Yeah, thank you. Bye.